Class session today, and this is on the power of positive energy. This is class number 10. And as we prepare, it's our tradition that we begin to center ourselves and be fully aware of this moment by doing a little breathing exercise. So I'm going to invite you to do that with me, to join with me in this breathing exercise where we're going to take in some wonderful air through our nose, hold for a moment, and breathe out through our mouth. And as we do, we're going to invite you to just breathe in a fresh awareness and be very focused on that breathing process, and then release out all stress and tension as we blow out. So let's just join together, and we welcome those of you who are joining us through our live streaming, our YouTube channel, and those of you who are joining us in our classroom as well. Let's breathe together. Breathe in and release. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. And in this moment of silence, set your intention for that which you desire to transpire in your life during this time that we share together. And so it is. All right, this is class number 10. I trust you've got your note packet in front of you. You're ready to follow along because we appreciate each and every one of our students. We're glad that you're with us, and if you have questions or comments, feel free to interject. We'd love to hear from you, whether you're joining us through our live streaming or our YouTube channel, and of course, our students who are gathered here in the classroom. We love it when just raise your hand or alert me or type something in, and we'll take note of it, and we'll enjoy this wonderful dialogue that we're going to share together as we ask questions and inquire and process this wonderful information that we're receiving today. Class number 10 is all about heal your mind, body, and soul. And it begins with the author making this statement that when you start thinking positively about yourself and the life around you, your entire body glows with a can-do attitude. Now, how important it is that we begin to move our thought process into something very positive each and every day. There's nothing that you cannot achieve, or there's no setback in life that you can't overcome when you get into that positive mindset, when you begin to welcome that kind of positive thinking, because that sets you for this energy that is saying, I can do, I can accomplish. It's just unfolding in miraculous ways. We know it is, and we're claiming that in the very positive energy. And this is what this class is all about, is understanding the power of this positive energy. So that positive mindset is so crucial. Let's just take a moment right now, and we're going to set that positive mindset for ourselves for this class. Positive, we're going to think about all the wonderful things we're going to receive, learn, and experience. We're going to talk about all the wonderful ways that our lives are going to be enlightened and enriched. So let's just talk about that with ourselves. Just taking a moment and hold that conversation going about positive thinking and framing your thoughts in that way. Let's take a moment. We'll just do that in a little bit of silence, okay? Talk to yourself. Positive thinking. I am positive. All right. Now, when we set that mindset, we want to operate from that, because we want to remember that as we're dealing with a sickness or any adversity that comes against us, we want to remember that this positive power, this positive energy is very transformational, and it's going to help us in this healing process or in the process of overcoming any kind of challenges. Now, when it comes to being sick, remember, no one is immune to falling sick. So, there's a lot of people like, well, if you're really spiritual, you may never get sick again. You'll always be healthy and whole. Well, we do know that there are all kinds of circumstances around us that we may engage and encounter in. And so what we want to understand is that illness is something that we all have to deal with at some point in our lives. So, even some of the great gurus may get a cold, or even some of the great gurus or spiritual leaders may come down with, the flu or something like that. But with a positive mindset and the wisdom to know the true strength of your body, well, we can overcome. It's really about understanding the power of healing within us. So we want to engage that. Now, I do believe that as we have this mindset of health and wholeness, we do ward off a lot of experiences where sickness can come to us because we're in a mindset where we're not stressed, we're not filled with worry or anxiety or fear in any way. And I know there's a lot of people who just say, I know I'm going to get a cold. I know I'm going to get the flu. I know I'm going to get sick. I know this is going to happen. Oh, if I'm around these people, these germs are going to get me, And so that kind of mindset just kind of welcomes and entertains that kind of sickness. But as we hold the positive energy of thinking within our lives, we can embrace this wonderful truth that we know that as we think, so we are. So as we think health, wholeness, wellness within our life, so we are. So we want to engage that positive energy within us, and having that positive mindset and the wisdom to know the true strength of our body, how important that is. This is going to make it easier for us in this healing process when we begin to understand that the body is intelligent and it's always working on our behalf for the highest and best. We want to release that energy in a self-healing mode, an energy of self-healing within our lives. So self-healing really refers to the things that we do consciously and unconsciously to kickstart our internal recovery system to fully heal any kind of wounds or illness or any imbalance that we have within our lives. So we witness our body's ability to heal itself each time we cut ourselves, like a little paper cut or a little bruise. Do we not see the healing process, especially these small little injuries? We can really monitor them well and see how fast and how quickly the body is already closing up that wound and working to restore connection between the severed wound or the cuts and begin to allow that skin to grow together. Well, we understand that the body then has this great intelligence and it knows what to do. So we want to turn our energy in our body in this simple process. We want to tune into our body's energy with our intention, and we can truly change our lives physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually when we are setting these intentions and our mind has this wonderful consciousness, this thought process of wholeness, wellness, perfection within our life. So this is why it's so important to ask yourself, what are we thinking? What are our thoughts around health and wholeness within our lives and within our world? This self-healing process is activated and it sort of kicks in. Sometimes when we experience dis-ease, what's happening is that immune system is kicking in. So you get a cold even then. The immune system is kicking in and it's starting to go to work right away. So that self-healing process is already ignited even in the midst of sickness. And positive thinking, of course, that we're talking about right now is going to set that direction for that self-healing process. Now, there's also surgery and treatments that are the wisdom of the universe brought to humanity to allow us to understand this process, that the divine wisdom of God works through the intelligence that's been given to surgeons and doctors and all these kind of wonderful things as part of the healing process. We do have many medicines out there that are available to us that to help us. They're herbal medicines and many homeopathic things as well that can be of great help to us. And I really am intrigued by all the homeopathic or natural modes of healing that are out there within the universe that just help us in this healing process that are more homeopathic. Also, a nutritious diet is going to kick in this self-healing process. So we might do a little examination of what kind of food items are we taking in. Wow, you go to the grocery store and aisle after aisle is processed food, convenience items that are there for our American fast-paced culture. But there's very little nutrition in so many of these things. And there's all these chemicals and other things that have so many side effects on us. So it's really important that we begin to try to think how we can create a nutritious diet in the journey of our living. And of course, working on healing energy to move the energy within the body that may be blocked in a certain chakra zone within us. And allowing that healing energy to move freely through our body is so crucial, and that's going to kick in this natural healing process for us within our life. Exercise, stretching. Some good exercise within stretching. It just seems to get the muscles awakened. And I don't know about you, if you have a little routine in the morning of some stretching exercises, I think it's great to maybe look into those, because we learn as we stretch, we awaken the body, the muscles, to allow the natural flow of energy to flow through the body in a proper way, that when we're reaching or we're making the bed, how many of you pulled a muscle making the bed? Putting on a fitted sheet, and you've wrestled with one, and you are like, okay, I'm in control. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you maybe, throw your back out just wrestling to pull that fitted sheet over the mattress. Well, some stretching exercises are really crucial for us and can help us in this process. Spending time in nature is going to set you in a very natural environment where the energy of nature is also working to ignite the energy process of healing within your body. I often say that my garden takes care of me versus me taking care of the garden. And I do believe in that wonderful healing process as my hands are in the soil, in the dirt. My body is connecting with nature, the trees around me and their wonderful energy, all the plants, the flowers, the bees, the birds, everything around me that is nature is contributing to this wonderful energy experience that's igniting healing within our own body. Now, the best way to start this healing process is to bring a feeling of peace into your body. I can't tell you how important this is, that we work on peace within our body. I'm doing some marital counseling with couples, and as I do, I talk about, tell me about your day and tell me about the atmosphere of your home and how you've set the atmosphere for your home for peace, for happiness, for joy, for healthy relationships. And in particular, several people say, well, we get up and we get a cup of coffee, we turn the TV on, and the TV goes on pretty well all day long, just making noise in the background. Because, we're busy with other things, but it's kind of nice to have that noise going in the background. And ooh, wait a minute. What kind of energy are we putting out when we're listening? And it started out with the news and war and chaos and theft and all this political division and all these issues that are going on. And then it segues into some talk show where there's a group of women sitting around arguing amongst each other over some issue or politics or whatever it may be. Then it segues into noon news, which again is giving you some more division and chaos. And you begin to look through the course of the day and you wonder, wait a minute, well, how about that soap opera? Oh yes, divorce and infidelity and all this kind of stuff is adding in the energy, and and drama, etc., and chaos and fighting and all this kind of stuff that keeps you occupied and interested in the TV show. Then it segues into, well, wait, how about an afternoon talk show with a little humor and maybe some dance? And it sounds, okay, well, we might have a little window of some humor there within the course of the day, but you looked at the kind of energy that went all day long in your home environment. And then you ask yourself about, have I engaged in peace? How could you, when there was all this kind of negative energy going on all day? Drama, chaos, fighting, issues, gossip on television, things like that are not healthy, that don't feed the soul. So I'm not anti-TV. I'm just saying, let's take control over the atmospheres of our home and saying, what are we doing to bring peace to our home? So I had a friend staying with me and he said to me, wow, your home is awfully quiet. And I said, well, I start off with some meditation music that kind of centers in the morning. My Alexa, I just kick it in and say, hey, play some healing music for me. And Alexa starts out the day with some wonderful background music of healing. I think my dog loves it too, because he just calms down in the morning and just loves to curl up and go right back to sleep, kind of on the kitchen floor, listening to this music and letting the day, maybe shifting the music to something like some sort of energizing jazz or something else that goes on through the course of your day. But allowing this very peaceful energy to be present within the home. And I'm crucial. I think it's really crucial that we look into that, because we want to say, what kind of feeling of peace have we surrounded ourselves within our home life? And I think this is where a lot of couples say, well, there was tension, there was energy, there was all this kind of chaos. We wonder why we were arguing, why we weren't at peace with one another, why we were having marital issues, etc., etc. Well, we have to ask ourselves, peace begins within each and every one of us as an individual. And we want to bring that peace to our body, not only for health within our own individual body, but health within our relationships as well. So when we look at the stress, which causes inflammation, and inflammation is just toxic to the body, we want to start with some deep breathing to release that stress. We want to engage in some meditation and connecting with our inner peace. Because when we do that, just that calming presence does a wonderful work within us to start this healing for wholeness, wellness, mentally, emotionally, physically, and of course, spiritually. So we really want to encourage you to say that, how important it is that we're just letting go of these toxics, things of inflammation that rise within the body through stress, anxiety, fear, and all this kind of chaos that we just commonly welcome into our home without really thinking about it. Now, you can tune into your energy body and use your thoughts and emotions to change the frequency and the flow of your energy. So we want to do things that change the frequency, raising the frequency to a higher level, and release and allow divine flow of that good energy to flow through your body from head to toe. And it's as simple as changing the channel from negative reporting news to maybe your favorite music, or even a comedy show or something else where there's a feeling where you begin to relax and make a big change within your home environment. Now, your day can move in a new direction that will guarantee that you're inviting ease, flow, and even miracles into your life. Wow. Do you ever think about it? That you're inviting and you're offering an invitation for the miraculous to take place within your life, and how important that is. Have you invited a miracle today? Because it's really important that we do this kind of energy work that says, I'm inviting the miraculous to work in my body, through my body, around my body, for my body, and for the world around me. So I want this divine flow to take place. And in the divine flow, there is the miraculous in a natural mode unfolding in our lives. Because the divine flow is what we kind of term as miraculous. But I want to say it's really the natural state. Because divine flow is doing these things that we term as miraculous, but that's just the natural flow of God within our lives. And we want to go, oh, wow, that was a miracle. That was amazing. Wow, that was unexpected. And yet we should be in this mindset that says, you know what? The divine flow, it's just natural that I would be manifesting a miracle today. That's my natural. That's my norm. I mean, I should be walking around the world and just, bestowing these wonderful, miraculous things in my own body, in my own being, in my mentality, in my outlook, in my emotions, and of course, my spirituality. So let's just look at a few more healing techniques that we can look up that are in our note packet. And we've already highlighted a little bit the importance of being in meditation. In meditation, there's something wonderful that happens. We're quieting all the mind chatter that's going on. And you know what? There's a lot of mind chatter that's going on that you don't even need. There's a lot of thoughts that are going through your life you don't need, but they're just coming at you left and right. And so it's really good to just take control and just to do some of this control over the mind chatter going on, and to be in this place where you're just in the stillness. Wow. You're going to be so surprised at what you're going to discover in the stillness, in the quiet. That's going to come to you naturally. Our problem is there's a lot of stuff that the divine has intended for you to know and experience today, but we haven't quieted the mind enough to receive today's download of wonderful information that's intended for our lives. We're just so busy, so let's just engage in these moments of breathing, which brings us into an awareness. We're conscious of the breath. We're conscious of this right here and now. Our thought is not going off to, oh, I got to do laundry, or in 10 minutes, I'm going to do this, or I got to rush here, or I got to rush there, or I wish I had done this yesterday, I wish I'd done that. So it's just bringing you back into this present moment right here and now. And here's another thing that we can do is to breathe into any kind of pain that you're experiencing. Just breathe into that, I'm going to tell you this. In this birthing process, when my former wife and I were anticipating the birth of our child, we went to breathwork classes called Lamaze, okay? And it was just teaching us this Lamaze method of how to breathe in the midst of pain. And of course, I learned that very quickly, and she was struggling with it because she was the one who had to do it, and I was here just the coach. So I'm saying, hey, this is an easy no-brainer. She, yeah, right. You just wait until we're in the midst of this breathwork, birthing process, And she would grab with those fingernails into my arm and like, yeah, I'm breathing all right, Well, you women who've gone through the birthing process know exactly what I'm talking about. But it was about breathing into the pain, that the breath and the release, this mode, also brings some comfort to any kind of discomfort we're going through. How self-healing techniques? Well, eat well. Eat well. Now, eating well means a well-balanced, nutritious diet, and eating well is going to also do some healing within us. So we want to find out what's working and what's well in eating well for our own body types. In today's world, there's so much that's happening in our food process that we're finding more and more people say, I can't do dairy, I can't do gluten, I can't do sugar, I can't do this, I can't do that. And you're like, wow, how do we cook? But everyone is discovering what is nutritious and works well for their body type. And not everyone can handle the same food items. So we have to find what is nutritious and what is eating well for our own individual life. Rest. Wow. I'm going to tell you this. Rest is so crucial for our lives, and people call it, I need my beauty rest. Well, your soul needs that beauty rest. Your emotions need that beauty rest. Your spirituality needs that beauty rest. For sleep is going to restore everything and just allow the body to move into its proper rhythms. How about do yoga? So maybe you are not familiar with some of the yoga positions and stretching, things like this, or this again, something you can research online or attend a yoga class, because there's some simple things that we can do that just help prepare the body for a healing journey. How about practicing some energy medicine, where we're allowing Reiki healing or movement of energy that can be blocked within our chakra zones, where we're allowing a cleansing to take place and we're moving some energy that may be clogged within a certain place within that chakra of the body. And I love this one, practice a little self-compassion. I would also say self-care. This is really good for healing the body. I don't know what you may do for self-care, what you may do that you feel like this is really nurturing me. This is a little me time, whatever that may be. Some of you, it's a wonderful hot bubble bath and some meditation music, some soft candles, a glass of wine, healthy red wine, whatever, something like that maybe. Or someone else may say, I do something else for self-care. I do a nature walk. Whatever it may be that you're doing that is self-compassion is going to help facilitate this wonderful self-healing. Now, by far the most effective and the fastest way, though, to heal yourself is going to be through healing meditation. It's going to be because you're releasing all other distractions and allowing that mode of self-healing to really do its wonderful work within you. And it's one of the fastest and easiest ways. Now, few of the thoughts in our heads, well, I mentioned earlier, they're just not necessary. And our healing work is strengthened when we disengage from these useless, unneeded thoughts that are flowing through our head. So there's all kinds of stuff that's coming to us. And we need to have a little bit of a filter and where we disengage from these thoughts. Stress and anxiety, what's going to happen is with these things, it's going to wreak havoc on the body. To reduce stress and anxiety, what you need to do is learn how to tame then those voices in your mind, to disengage from them. And you'll find a whole lot less stress or anxiety. Let us be aware then that there is a voice within us. One of these voices that's hitting us really hard is the voice of the ego. That's right. Although it's designed to keep you safe, because the ego is there to kind of also protect you. So the ego isn't all bad, but it can be conditioned by society and past experiences and culture and fear. That suddenly this ego is a voice that's really working hard against you rather than for you. So here's an example that, ego wants to always talk about, I want this, I want this, I want this. And these are all my individual plans. And then it's, ego, it really enjoys a little worry and stress, Some people say, well, you need to worry about this. You need to be, do we need to worry? Do we need to worry? Honestly, but a lot of people think, well, you need to worry about this and worry about how this is going to impact that and how that is going to impact something else and all these things. There's a lot that you need to be worried about. Like, oh, wow. I don't believe that we need to worry, and that is to be in stress and anxiety about anything. Now, there may be things that we are concerned with in a healthy mode or respectful of in a healthy mode, but that's not worry. So what we want to look at is also that this ego voice likes to think of the worst possible scenario in life. There's a reason they call it the devil's advocate. And people say, I'm going to play devil's advocate and we're going to play worst case scenario. Hello. That devil's advocate is that big old ego, adversarial thinking that's out there that you may engage in that says, let's just play for, let me tell you why what you're thinking about ain't going to work for you. Let me tell you why this idea is not going to work, because I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say, what about this? And how about that if that happens? And then what will you do? And then how, the ego is also very quick to judge and to condemn. The ego loves to be right on a lot of things. I'm right, you're wrong. That's ego. Extremely competitive, and the ego plays off wanting to be the victim a lot and enjoys victimhood. There's a voice of the heart that is different than the ego, and we're going to talk about the differences between these two, because to hear this voice of the heart, this inner essence within you, well, it's going to communicate through feelings. It's going to communicate through daydreams and fantasies. And when the voice of the heart is speaking, it's going to bring calm versus the voice of the ego, which may bring stress and fear. It's also going to bring a sense of hope and great inspiration. So when we look at that, we want to say, how do we work the voice of ego and the voice of heart and bring them together for good? That the ego is there to maybe help and guide us and keep us safe, but we want to temper it with the voice of the heart, which is inspirational and calming and very loving. And so we must learn how to work these two together to live this well-rounded, balanced life. Now, your body contains an immense ability to heal itself. Now, we've talked about this. And in order to activate this wonderful healing ability, you have to approach everything in health from a mind, body, soul perspective if we're going to really engage in this healing process. And from our textbook today, and I hope you have yours with you, 17. And on page 17, it gives us some of these steps that we can look at in an exercise for this approach to healing. If you want to start looking at the energetic and emotional side of disease and get in touch with your body, well, here's some steps it's offering. Number one, drop any expectations of what your healing is supposed to look like. Wow. Because we've got a lot of idea. Oh, healing is supposed to look like this. Now, I want to say I am HIV positive, but I am healed of HIV. Okay? And people say, wait a minute, how does that work? Well, because, medically, the doctors will say you are undetectable and you cannot pass this virus on to anyone, whether it be through your blood or spit or whatever, any of these kind of things. That's not going to happen. So I'm not dangerous to my children or anyone else around, or grandchildren in any way. What happens is we look at this and we find that the medicine that I'm taking, the wonderful drugs that are out there right now, have just almost eradicated it, that my body knows it's there, but it is undetectable. So they can't even find it. So in all sense and purposes, I'm healed. But you may think, well, wait a minute, if you're healed, should it not look like that you're not even HIV positive on any medical charts? That's removed from your medical charts? No, I'm just operating in health and wholeness. And I'm operating from a sense of feeling this wonderful ability to be living a life that is healed from HIV virus within my body. So I've got to look at healing from a little bit different perspective and let go of some expectations of what it's supposed to look like. Now, you have to be completely willing and ready to be healed. Some people are not really ready to be healed. They kind of like their sickness because it's part of their story. Like, oh, you don't know, I struggle from migraines. I have migraines all the time. That's just me. I've got a migraine. And like, well, do you want to be healed? Oh, yes, I'd love to be healed, but I'm going to have a migraine. And that's the way some people are with their stories. And so they're not really ready to experience this healing process. Sometimes having an illness or disease can allow you to stay in that victim mode. And I've known a lot of people who just sort of enjoy that victim mode. Now, make a list of all the feelings and emotions that having this disease stirs up within you. How does having this disease make you feel? So begin to allow yourself to go deep and write down every thought or feeling that you're experiencing about your dis-ease. Now that you've got this list in front of you, access other things in your life that may be causing you to feel the same way. Access when these emotions started and appearing in your life. Did they come about just because of the disease, or were you feeling them before the disease began? So a little test there. See if you can put measures in place to start addressing some of these key emotions. So did the disease arise because of some stress, worry? What were you doing that may have brought about some sort of illness within your life? What was going on? So practice some self-love and self-acceptance, as these are wonderful healing tools that can instantly bring peace to any situation, because we're going to talk about peace being a real key component to health and wholeness. So are we at peace? Peace with everything in life, peace with one another, peace with ourselves, peace with God. So how important that is. If you want to flex your intuitive muscles, you may even want to talk to your disease. That's right. Speak to that diabetes, speak to that high blood pressure, speak to these things and ask, why are you there? I want to discover what message your body is trying to communicate with you. What's going on? Why are you here? What's going on with me? And how might I love my body more so into health and wholeness? Ask your angels, your spirit guides, or your higher self to help you activate your body's own self-healing ability. And stay open to the signs and messages that you receive. And most of all, trust the process. So healing is available to us. Now, I don't know if you're a fan of Myrtle Fillmore from Unity, one of the founders of Unity. She has some powerful healing stories of how she experienced healing within her own life through the power of a transforming thought process of claiming healing, wholeness, seeing herself in perfection. She and her husband both experienced incredible healing in their journeys of their life, and were able to facilitate a teaching that ignited healing within so many others. So these wonderful stories of health and wholeness are there as we begin to claim, as we open up our lives to it, as we begin to release any kind of dis-ease uncomfortability and begin to experience this perfect peace within our lives. Now, disease and illness, well, I'm going to tell you this. They can happen to all of us. And it's important to understand that disease is not a sign of failure. Some people want to say that spiritually you failed in some way, and that's why you have this disease, or you did something wrong. Rather, it's an opportunity for you to listen to your body more closely and to learn to nourish and to love it. Take care of it. And I've seen many people, as they begin to take care of their bodies, heal in so many beautiful ways and stories of healing, as they begin to nurture love, be at peace, change their life, they begin to find incredible healing within your body. Now, medical professionals can only do part of the healing, and sometimes I wonder if they do any part of the healing, because so often they're just offering you something to cover up the pain and they're not really helping with the healing process. But the rest of the healing really has to come from you. Now, I do believe that there can be some corrective surgery, maybe to remove your appendix, which is inflamed and causing problems. Maybe that's the mode of healing. But really, the whole healing within the body is up to you to hold in consciousness this wonderful process. So let's just take a look at this. And I've added some things in your note packet that are in a box on our last page. We can get energy or emotions stuck in certain parts of our body, usually the hips. That's right. We get some energy stuck in our hips. And it feels to me like there's some sort of congestion there within the hips itself, stiffness, soreness. But that can be an energy center with so many people as we are maturing in life. So begin to move that energy up and out of the hips. This is where some stretching can work out. Begin to, move a little bit more. Part of us, we sit and we're very sedentary as a culture. We sit around a lot, more so than our ancestors ever did. Our ancestors were busy moving in an agricultural context or culture. They were farming, they were working so many, and we have got so many things that even housework today is just, hey, push a button on the washing machine and it washes your clothes. Push a button on the dryer, it dries your clothes. And we sit around and watch TV while all this is happening. Where, our grandmothers were busy, scrubbing on the washboard, and they were active, and they were walking down to the river's edge, great ones, they were, very engaged in the process. So begin to move that energy up and out. And what happens is it brings relief of the aches and the congestion in those areas so you can move forward in a more positive fashion. Let's move that stiffness, that energy, that emotional stress that may be lower back and or hips that's there. And I'm going to tell you this. I know that a lot of people, as you are facing a lot of stress in your life, you may pull or strain that sciatic nerve in the back. Like, oh, I pulled a muscle, ouch, oh, I did something wrong, partly because you're stressed and you're not thinking properly about your movement. Now, if you just move your body, what's happening is you're going to begin to changing your patterns of energy. And this is a self-energy that is very productive, and it is moving the energy as you begin to move the body. So that's, again, these stretching exercises, getting out of your vehicle if you're on a long trip and walking a bit, getting that energy to flow within you. Now, emotions and movement, well, they're closely related. So you repress emotions by restricting the movement of your body. Now, we can repress a lot of emotions. We sit there in sorrow. We sit in pity. We sit in, how many people go out and exercise when you're in pity? How many people are going out and moving and really getting active and doing something when you're in sorrow and sadness and stress and fear? What do? You sit and stress. You sit and worry. You may eat and stress, and you may eat and worry, and all those kind of things. So when you tense and restrict the movement of your body, all sorts of trouble is going to ensue in that body. Your body is a storage ground for the emotions that you've kept suppressed. Think about the emotions that you may have beaten down, childhood emotions, family emotions, life crisis, divorce, marital death, grieving, and all these kind of emotions that you may have suppressed within your body that you haven't really dealt with and released. Well, your body stores emotions. If you're unable to feel them and heal them by allowing them to be felt fully and released, then start feeling and releasing them. Really dealing with them. I think one of the worst things we can do is not deal with the emotional stress that we're working through. And dealing with it is not coddling it. It's not holding on to it. It's not embracing it. But dealing with it is to address it and release it, not store it. And I think one of the things that we do is, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just suppress it and push it down. And we're actually pushing it in to a storage areas within the body where this painful emotion is being held within the body. These emotional responses are going to lead to the holding of stress that leads to the problems of the tight, sore, tension-filled muscles. So let's release. This is why in these breathing exercises, I'm asking you to release out tension and stress. As we breathe in and we hold all that goodness, and then we just breathe out. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just release it all out. And I think sometimes it's really important to not just do a gentle breath exercise where how about a fast one? Let it get it out. And how about some real hard ones like, just force it out. Just really breathe it, release it out. These are some great breath work that we can do just help us in releasing any kind of stress and anxiety. How about a good scream? Have you ever had a good, healthy scream? I mean, a good release of stress. Just go there and, go in your backyard, go in your closet, go wherever it may be that you've got a little private moment. Get in your car and just belt out a scream of release, It's time to let something go, but a good scream I think it's a healthy thing. Don't scream at me, but, go ahead and scream at somebody, just that fictitious world out there. But when in your privacy, just belt it out. Because what's going to happen is as you're healing yourself, it's about releasing and accepting and loving yourself. But to love yourself, to make room for that love and that wholeness that you want, you got to release something to make room for it. Because sometimes our life is full and packed up with all this junk we haven't let go of. And so how can we let some self-love be at work within our life? So scream it out, yell it out, talk it out, release it out, speak it out, whatever it is, hammer it out. Sometimes it's really good therapeutic to get a good axe and smash some walls down or something, you know what I mean? So that's some good therapy going on. Walls that you don't need. Yes, exactly. I found a friend of mine loves chopping wood. He said, it is so therapeutic. At the end of chopping a cord of wood, I am a happy person. I've released all stress. I've released all anxiety. Yeah, take that, and I've just kind of released everything out, all kinds of things that I may have stored subliminally within my life. Chopping wood was a healthy way for him. So let's just remember that everyone in a healing journey is going to be experiencing something different. So it's not always like there's a standard mode. And remember, you don't have to be cured to be healed. Okay? Interesting. So, like I said, on all my medical tests, I declare I'm HIV positive. I don't have to be cured, but for all intents and purposes, I'm healed. So my T cell count is fabulous. My viral load is non-existent. The doctors say, you've got healthier T cells than the average male of your age. You're doing so great. And I'm like, okay, that's that healing. Now, am I cured? Okay. Medically, they would say, no, you still, you have to declare HIV, but it's undetectable. So you are so healthy that we would almost say you're cured, but medically, medicine is going to say, well, okay. So I don't have to be cured to be healed. I can, move on. So someone may say, hey, I've got, whatever, but I know that I'm healed of whatever it may be. And I'm living in that health and wholeness because it's a mindset of healing within my life. Now, the steps to cultivate a healing mindset are to know, first of all, it's possible to heal. And I want to tell you this. There's a lot of people who don't really believe in healing. They'd like to. They don't really believe it's possible. And so they're not open to this natural, God-given process that wants to unfold within our life. We're created in a body that knows how to heal. That's very intelligent. It knows this. But a lot of us have a mindset that says, well, it's not possible to be healed, or this is too great of a problem. So let me ask you this. When you get a diagnosis, or when you feel pain, or when you feel discomfort in your body, where do you go first? Do you go to the medicine cabinet? Do you go to your doctor? Or do you go to prayer? Because that really tells us where your faith is and your belief around healing. So you have a headache. Is the first place you go for the aspirin? Or is the first place you go in treatment and prayer to release whatever stress and anxiety that may be holding up, that's causing this tension, creating this headache? Where do you go first? And this is why here at City of Light, we have welcomed so many different healing modalities within our building. We'd like to say this is a place where you would go first before you go to your doctor. Stop on the way, come here and experience some healing through Reiki, through pranic healing, through prayer, through meditation, through some sort of services or workshops that are here that may facilitate that. That's ongoing. We have gong healing that's going on with vibrational frequency. We have singing bowls going on. I mean, all different kinds of modalities of healing for you. Dr. David Carter, do you have a comment?
Okay, Joan Marie Barringer.
Yes.
She
Hi,
said,
Joan.
Facing emotions is so important. And tennis balls against a backboard helps myself and my clients.
Oh, good. Tennis balls and kind of rubbing against that on the back.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That can be almost like a pressure point of release, as like massage. Actually can be a wonderful healing modality. If you've not gotten a massage, I highly recommend that you experience the wonderful healing movement that moves energy and blood throughout the body. It's a very healing process for our lives. I highly recommend it. So what we need to do is focus on the positive things in this healing mindset. Do everything that you're able to do to support healing. Be present and trust that even though you may not see it, you are healing. Okay? You are healing. And this is one of the problems where, people get so impatient. And, like, I am not healing because I don't feel it right now in this moment. But wait a minute. It's this mindset that has to go at work that's speaking through these millions of cells within your body that are communicating and saying, let's go to work. And they've got to do their work in this healing process. So the mindset can't be, oh, I just prayed, but I'm not getting healed and I'm not healing right now. So it has to be, no, I am healing even in this moment, even though I don't see it, even though I can't see what's going on. And trust me, I can't see all these beautiful cells that are work within the skin and the body and the blood. I can't see all the work they're doing. And just because I can't see it, should I negate their work? Should I tell them, oh, soul cells, you're not really working very hard because I don't feel this healing right here and now? No, I'm claiming and believing you are at work. I speak to the intelligence of this body that you know what to do. And I am healing even now because the healing process has been ignited and it's at work. And I can't see all these cells rushing to go to work and fight off this virus or that, or correct this or heal this or that. I am not seeing it all. I just have to know and begin to claim and in great faith believe. And in that believing, I'm not wavering. I'm not sending a mixed message out to my body. Because quite often we can send out a mixed message that says, oh, I'm healing. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm in big pain. Oh, I'm healing. Oh, No, I'm not. I'm in terrible pain. Oh, this cough is terrible. My cold is getting worse. And like, oh, but I'm healing. Well, you're just going all over the place with these mixed messages within your body that are not facilitating the ease and comfort that's necessary, the peace that's necessary for the healing work to complete its process. So don't interrupt the process. Don't interrupt the healing work that's already started within you as you begin to claim this in faith by sharing any kind of impatience or fear or doubt or questioning about the process. Just begin to claim, I know I am healing in this wonderful work. And even though you may not see it, you are healing. So just begin to claim it and don't step back from that proclamation, but begin to believe it. Norma, your question or comment?
I want to go back to something you talked about earlier. Is that okay?
Sure.
You were talking about talking to your body, asking it why the pain is here.
Yes.
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah,
Can we use my diabetes as an example?
certainly we might ask ourselves, why is this diabetes appearing? What's going on? And what is it causing me to do? And how am I is it there as a gift to help me to slow down, be more conscious about eating and diet and self-care? Is it a tool that's been given to me to be more loving to the body that I've not been so loving to, and that I need to take care of it more? What is it saying to me? What is it speaking to me? Now, that headache that may rise within us, what is this headache saying to me? What stress am I dealing with? What fear, what anxiety am I going? This ulcer within me, why is it appearing, you may say? And that's another example. Why is it coming? What am I dealing with that's causing this anxiety and stress? What did I do? Why I had a sleepless night? What's going on that I had this insomnia? And I have to ask myself, body, what's going on? Let me tell. Oh, now I know. What was I thinking? What were my thoughts? What was going on? How was I ignoring the body and the care that's necessary? So allow the body to speak to us and to reveal this message that it's trying to say, hey, hello, we've got some dis-ease going on because we're not operating in the sense of wholeness, perfection, love, peace, joy. And I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people go through some really traumatic experiences and they hold that trauma in their body. And then their body is manifesting some sort of disease or complication or discomfort and it's trying to tell them you need to let go. You need to release this trauma or this disease or this dis-ease, this uncomfortableness that you've experienced in your life, and you need to just release it and let it go. And what will happen is that energy will shift in your body. So we think of a lot of people who have PTSD, a lot of trauma that they've experienced that they've held within their body and not fully released and let go. People who are going through a grieving process also maybe have not let go and allow that process to work itself all the way through, may hold some energy and some problems in it that then work within their body. Then they wonder why they have back problems or this problem or that problem. Well, again, the body's going to tell us. So let's just allow the body to speak to us and be open to that conversation and allow the body to say, this is what you need to do. And this is what you need to do to create a healing within your body. So maybe there's some things that we've been eating in a diet that we need to change that have brought about some sort of, comfort. Hello. How about this one? You want to go on a diet, you need to lose some weight. And we're not going to say we're going to lose the weight, because whatever you lose, you'll find. So we want to say we're going to reduce the weight. Okay, we're going to choose a better word there. So I'm reducing weight. And what is the body telling me? Well, honey, you got to give up on all that sugar, that cake, that pie, that ice cream, that all this stuff, that heavy pasta, all the things that you've been eating. The body's telling me it's like that's what's storing, and you're telling me to store fat. So let's release some of these things. And the body's saying, hello, eat healthy. And how about maybe more proteins and less carbohydrates, or whatever it may be that your body may need, that it begins to move into a better plan. Well, hello, I stopped to listen to my body and I just lost 20 pounds. So, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still listening to my body. There's a few more things that it's talking to me. Said, you could do less on, and you probably need to let go of that. And how about eat a little bit more of this and be a little more nutritious and about your thinking and portion control. So the body's been telling me all this kind of stuff as I just pause and listen, because it's saying, because what you're feeding me, you're telling me you like to be a little chubby. You like a little chunkiness around the stomach, because you're certainly supplying everything that says chunkiness is good, but if that's not what you want and you want to reduce that, well, then the body's saying, here's how you do it. Listen to me, cut back. Maybe that third helping isn't so necessary for your life. So, all right. Anyone else with a comment or a question? Great.
So what we can say is, no matter what's going on in our lives, whether it feels good or not, we know that God wants the highest and the best for us.
Yes.
And so what we have to ask ourselves, or maybe that body part or whatever, is what is the lesson that I need to learn from this, whatever's going on? If it's good, then you're learning goodness and how to be positive and all. If it's negative, you need to be aware, I guess, of what the lesson is. Maybe I need to take better care of myself. Maybe I need to go to a doctor. Maybe I need to meditate on that particular point in my body. So in the end, it's the lesson.
Yes, right.
I mean, that's what science of mind teaches us, and
because the universe is carrying on a conversation.
Yeah.
So, the body's talking to us, but we're not listening. God, this wonderful life force and energy, is talking to us, and we're not listening. There's all these kind of things that we're not paying attention to. So we just got to stop, be still, and know. Be still and know. And in that stillness, things will rise up, and there'll be aha moments that will come to you, that you'll begin to understand the lesson that you're bringing out is that there's something good or something needs change, or, that's beautiful.
It's not always easy.
Right. Because we don't create a culture of stillness. You're right. Yeah. Our culture is, let's get going, multitask, do 6 things at one time. Can you go upstairs, carry the laundry as you go upstairs, and make the bed while you're there? And when you come downstairs, empty the trash and run through the house, feed the dog, and that's just like, well, I got to be efficient. I got to multitask. And so we're not in a world that's designed for stillness and for the sense of knowing. And we have to then take control of our world and our environment and say, we're in the world, but not of the world. Yes.
So then I go on to say, if I say, well, okay, here's a lesson I needed to learn, if I'm able to face that, then the next thing I say to myself is, that's really stupid. Why were you so stupid? And then I have to remember that God wants the highest and the best, and that there's no stupid in God anyway.
Right.
And so we can't get angry at ourselves. Well, we shouldn't. Anyway, we don't need to, because God is not judging us. Right. As a matter of fact, he's probably clapping his hands. He's saying, she finally got it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think this is where, as we listen to the body will speak to us, and we'll learn more. And sometimes we're experiencing the things that we don't like or don't want to help us understand what we do like and what we do want. Okay? So sometimes we're in the journey of things being unhealthy, for us to wake up and say, wait a minute, I don't want this. I want health and wholeness. So I'm going to make a change. I'm going to release negative emotions. I'm going to do chakra cleansing. I'm going to release all these things. I'm going to let go of negative energy that's stored within the body, because I don't want this. I know that because I'm experiencing what I don't want. I now know clearer and with greater clarity what I do want.
And you know what? If you're a healer and you know, we've learned that love is the strongest and the best and the highest healer there is. If you're a healer and you're approaching things from a negative point of view, forget what I was going to say, but it's awfully hard. It's almost a crapshoot that your patient will discover what it is you're trying to accomplish with them.
Yeah.
If they're so negative, you
Right.
know, and there are really negative people in this world. And some of them are depressed and some of them are thinking wrong or whatever. But so that brings to light love, and they might even be looking at it as love, but I don't think, as I said, you're taking a chance.
Right. Good. All right. So as we conclude our class today, we'd love to know what your takeaway is. What spoke to you about today's class session? And if you take a moment, if you're joining us through live streaming or our YouTube channel, take a moment, just type in what your takeaway is from today's class. What really spoke to you? While we're waiting to hear from you, we're going to go around our class and we're going to talk to our students and asking them what's their takeaway from today's session. Let's go to Norma. What's your takeaway from today's session?
Well, I'm going to have a conversation with my body.
A conversation with your body.
But I want to say, it's not about my diet. It's about my body not using the insulin that I'm giving. And I've
There you
changed doctors, and nobody understands, and nobody wants to talk about it. So I've got to talk to my body and have it tell me.
There you go. Beautiful. All right. Ann, what's your takeaway from
That's
today?
really great. I mean, that's self-healing, really.
Yes, it is.
Your body's innate ability.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about, when I bought my house 8 years ago, there was a fireplace, and I said, oh, good, I love a fire, but I love a campfire. And I set a fire, I got the wood, and the furnace went on, and it sucked all the air and the smoke right into the living room, and I was a choking mess. And so I haven't been able to use the fireplace. And fire has a special effect on me. And so I found this year, I decided to get it's a fake wood stove. It's electric, but it's also a space heater. So I am so happy with that. It's visual. This morning I curled up on the couch with the dog and we snuggled, and I had this big flames going and this heat roaring into the room, so I was nice and cozy warm. And it just gave me a whole entire being to walk into my car and walk out into the world. And so, you know, that self-care, you got to reach the point where you feel like you deserve it. I mean, that too.
Yes, yes.
That was so totally wonderful, and it's not even real. And that brings up another point. Another thing we didn't mention today was visualization. And I've been watching my grandson play baseball, and he strikes out 98% of the time. And I said to Heather, my daughter, is it visual? Because, you know, they keep telling you, keep your eye on the ball. And so I watched the Braves the other night, and my guess is the guys that walk up to the base and are confident and relaxed and know that they can do it and are not letting stress get them down were the guys that hit the home runs. And once in a while, Harrison does hit a home run. So I suggested to Heather, try some visualization with him, because we knew a guy that was a dance instructor, not ballroom dancing, but dancing. And he did a lot of visualization with his dancers in class. And not only is it good for body movement, it helps the energy and all that. And so we're hoping this will help him hit the ball a little more often. But you know what? Even the Braves strike out.
Right.
But we didn't want to say that to him.
Dr. David Carter, what's your takeaway from today's class session?
On page 3, where it says disease and illness happens to all of us, and it's important to understand that disease is not a sign of failure or that you did something wrong. Rather, it's an opportunity to listen to your body a little more closely.
Right. Beautiful. All right. Any other comments coming from students or joining us online?
Yes.
All right.
Susan Dexter.
Susan Dexter, great to have you with us.
Listen to your body.
Wonderful.
And Joan Marie Barringer.
Joan?
Okay, listening more within for healing and working on the energy in the home.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you all joined us today for this class session, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week as we're in the last chapter of this book on the power of positive energy. It's been great. We've been enjoying the discussion and all the experiences of processing this information within our lives. It's been so powerful. So join us next week, and we'll look forward to seeing you at 10:30 on Thursday. And we encourage you, if you've enjoyed this class, you can certainly offer a token of expression of gratitude for this experience by going to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. And there you'll find a donate button, and you can offer a gift, an expression of gratitude for these classes that you've experienced. God bless you. I know God has something wonderful in store for you. I know it without a doubt. So I'm claiming it for you and with you. And we look forward to hearing all about it as you share these wonderful reports of God's goodness in your life. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.